when you're trying to determine the domain of any function, be it a trig function or some other function that you have in a calculus class or what have you, the question that you have to ask yourself is, are there any numbers that we can't plug into the function? Because those would be restrictions on the domain. So the domain is the numbers that we're allowed to use to plug in to evaluate. So for example, 15 degrees is a possible value for the domain. So it works for the domain, it's part of the domain, because 15 degrees gives us an output value. So there is a height value associated with 15 degrees. If we go to 142 degrees, that will give us a height value. So 142 is in the domain. When you're looking at domain, probably the easiest thing to ask yourself is, are there any numbers that we can't plug in? So it's easier to look at restrictions. Now the answer here is no, there are not any numbers that we can't plug in. So in other words, we can plug in any number we want. Let me grab a graphing calculator here and show you. If I wanted to take the sine of 15.2946 degrees, now let's make sure we're in degrees, so I'll go into my mode, I'll go over to degrees, now I'll hit enter. There is a height value there. If I want the sine of 0.00156 degrees, I'm going to get a height value out. Now this number is really close to 0. This right here means move your decimal place to the left 5 places. Okay. So in other words, there's no number, there is not a single number out there that you can't plug into the domain. Now I've been working here with degrees, but you can do the same thing with radians. So our domain is all real numbers. You can plug in any value you want.